Welcome back. Let's talk about the Walrus operator. And this one is a fun one because, well, it looks like a walrus. It looks like this. See? Looks like, Google Walrus. If you don't know what that is, it's an animal and it kind of looks like that. Just Google this. All right, we're getting distracted. So what is this new operator we're going to learn about? The reason I want to teach you this is because I also want to teach you how to learn about new features in Python. For example, this is a new feature. If I go to the Python documentation here, usually what Python does with each new version, they create a What's New in Python document. So you might see what's new in Python 3.9, what's new in Python 3.10. And it gives you a summary of some of the new features added to the language because remember, a language is constantly evolving. So let's say you want to learn about new 3.8 features because let's say the REPL you're on now has 3.8. So it's able to understand the new features like the Walrus operator that we weren't able to write before this version. So I would go into the documents and see what's new in Python 3.8. And we see one of the first things is the assignment expression called the Walrus operator. So what I would usually do is just read about the summary of what this does, and you can learn about all the new features added in this version. Now let's just focus on the Walrus operator because it is useful and also kind of fun to learn about. What this new syntax does is it assigns value to variables as part of a larger expression. So usually you use it in an expression when something is being evaluated, like in an if statement, maybe a while statement. So let's play around with this and see what we can do. So let's say we have a string and we'll call this string hello. Now in here, let's say I want to do a conditional statement. I'm going to say if length of A is greater than 10, I want you to print a string that simply says too long, and we'll say length A elements. Oh, make sure I do that properly. Now if I click run here, I get too long 14 elements. And why is that? Well, because each character here, we have 14 elements because it's greater than 10. This conditional block runs and we print out too long. We have length of 14 elements. So where does the Walrus operator come in? Well, we're writing code and we're repeating ourselves here because we're calculating a length twice. We're using this A variable and doing some sort of a calculation multiple times because we want to use it here and here. But with the Walrus operator, I can do exactly that. Remember, if I go to the documentation, it says assigns values to variables as part of a larger expression. So what I can do here is I can create another variable like n, and that says, well, Walrus operator. So colon and equals, little walrus there. And this n is going to equal length A. So I'm just going to wrap this in brackets. So we're evaluating this part of the expression, and we're assigning the variable n whatever the outcome of length A is. So now n is something that has the value of A. So I can replace this with n. And if I run this now, again, same thing. So again, what we can do is we can assign values to variables as part of a larger expression. For example, if I did n equals length A, well, this isn't going to run. It's invalid syntax, but because of the Walrus operator, we can do this now. Let's do one more just to make sure we have it. So let's say in here, we're going to do a while loop. while loop is going to say n, walrus operator, length a. Again, we're going to do the same thing. If it's less than, this time let's do 1. And while this is true, I want to print the value of n, and we're going to reassign the value of a, the variable a, to have one less letter. So I can just do that with the -1 short form here. So we're going to remove the last letter every time we loop through here so that the a variable, the hello, becomes smaller and smaller and smaller until it equals to 1. And once it equals to 1, the while loop is going to stop. So let's just run this. All right, we're getting true, true, true. And we made a bit of an error here because remember the parentheses. We want to evaluate this first. So if I run this again, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, this is the length of a that's being calculated every time. And at the very end, if I print a and run it, you see that we have h remaining. There you have it, the walrus operator. You might not see it very often. It's essentially a way for us to minimize doing calculations that are similar, let's say inside of an if statement or a while statement where we want to do something based on a condition and then calculate that value again. But this also hopefully teaches you how to look at new Python versions and learn about new features. There's only a handful of features that get added to the language. Most of the important ones have already been added, but it's also good to keep an eye out on things as the language evolves, so that whenever you see something like a walrus operator in the codebase, you now understand what it does and that it's part of the language. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.